me show you what I'm talking about. This is today's Chuckle. Came from 1960, the Hartford Courant. My mom, who saves everything, preserved it with Scotch tape. And this hung in our kitchen from the day I went to kindergarten in 1960 until my brothers and sisters graduated into the 80s from high school. See what it says. School bulletin board, free, every Monday through Friday. Knowledge, bring your own container. The new expectation is that every student will leave public education with what they need to know, understand, and be able to do to be college and career ready. The difference between the low performers and the high performers, the gap between those who have the skills to be successful, particularly in reading, particularly in mathematics, is greater than we can tolerate as a society. Especially if we expect to produce the kind of results we as a nation have enjoyed for the past 100 years. These skills, along with others, make it quite clear whether individuals will ultimately, and our society ultimately, be successful in the employment arena and the quality of life area. The cost of failure here is too great, ethically, morally, and economically for our society to bear. Our bar has always been high in America. We expected our Olympic athletes to win the most medals. We expected them to come home with the most gold, and they did. They did because they worked harder and they worked smarter than the rest of the world. I believe American educators and Enfield educators can work harder and smarter than the rest of the world. To some degree, we've fallen behind, and that's not a comfortable or a familiar place for America. However, I imagine all children and adults in the Enfield schools learning and growing at high levels. Bottom of the slide on the screen up in front of you says, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Imagine all the children leading the next generation in the world. I hope you're able to realize our future is in their hands. The good news is, based on what we've seen and heard here in this auditorium this morning, these students show great potential for their future responsibilities, and together we can nurture that potential to greatness. I want to thank you guys for coming in. I don't know if you realize, this is a group of grade 5 through 12 students who've been working for less than 2 weeks, along with their teachers, given the opportunity and the challenge of performing for you this morning. They've managed to pull this off in the last 2 weeks, and I think they did a fantastic job.